Hey, vinyl community, Jason here. It is Saturday, actually probably Sunday now. Yeah, been wanting to do a video for a while. Hope everyone's doing well. I want to jump on the train. I'm kind of chasing after the caboose here. The 10 records that I have in my collection no one else has. I've actually had these records set aside for like a month and a half maybe. Just haven't had a chance to get to it. This box has just been sitting here, so want to jump on that right now, remedy that. First I'm gonna we're listening to, this is Perquisite. This is a Dutch DJ playing and with like a sax player playing with him. I am going to Amsterdam in about a week and a half, and when I went to Amsterdam before 2016, this is one of the records I was trying to find, and I found it like soon after I got back from my trip. So yeah, if anybody has any recommendations of any good Dutch music or any good record stores in Amsterdam area, please let me know. I would very much appreciate that. Definitely gonna be burning a hole in my wallet when I'm there. But anyways, this isn't one of them, but I'm gonna show 10 records that I believe that I have, even though I never heard of anybody showing this record. It's a pretty cheap record actually, but it's kind of fun for parties and stuff. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and show those. And I got a different setup here, so I am going to kind of move stuff around, clean up the garage a little bit. So it's kind of work in progress, but I'm gonna try to sample some of these, actually all of them. So hopefully it's not too long of a video. I'll try to be brief as if I can. So this is the first one. This is Bernhoft. Bernhoft, Jarl, Norwegian. Yeah, this is a live album. I'm not really usually into live albums that much, but yeah, he's just so amazing. He does everything, he loops everything solo. So yeah, let me jump into the music here. Burning Daylight. So he just, loops everything himself. And this album was pressed by, I think, Hi-Fi Kluben, which is like a Norwegian record chain. So this is the first record I really paid like decent money for. I was buying stuff mostly for garage sales, but and collections. I did buy some stuff on eBay, but I was only spending like 25, 30 bucks. This is the first record I paid 3 digits for, and I was like emailing people and Discogs like, hey, you got this record, would you sell it to me, would you ship, would you trade? I was really looking for this record, and so when it finally came up for sale for the first time, I just jumped on it and bought it. Probably a little more than I wanted to pay, but $100 it was worth it. And plus, I discovered him because he was touring through here, and we actually had tickets to see him on Halloween at like this really small venue. And so super bummed not to get it, and they canceled the tour, but I ended up finding the record. So me and my wife were still able to listen to him, and we had him like a year later, so it was all good. But yeah, never seen anybody show this, talk about it. He was up the year that he was kind of rolling through. His newer album was up for like a Grammy or something. I think it's Grammys, right? For like Soul Album of the Year. He didn't win, but yeah, I love it. So it just does all this cool stuff. So he just kind of, does the drums on his guitar and then just loops it, and then does guitar riff and then loops it, bass drum and then loops it. You get the idea. Kind of soulful, yeah, like indie soul, I guess. Incredible voice. He was amazing live, for sure. This guy's talented beyond belief. His voice is amazing. I usually don't like it live albums, but I don't have this. This is the only album of his I have. His earlier stuff was pretty good. I don't like his new. He has a band now. I don't really like his. He was in I'd say like the Foo Fighters. Of Norway, like this really huge band that did kind of like that rock music and stuff. Anyways, so this is another album. This is probably, out of the ones I'm showing, this is probably the one that people might have. This is a tax scam label. Yeah, I don't play this one very often, but This is Monkey Business, Nothing Serious. Yeah, and it's a Pelican label. And like I said, I believe it's a tax scam, one of those tax scam albums. But it's cool. It's got like that 80s. I don't know if it's like late 70s, early 80s, but it's around there. So it kind of has that little. Oh, it's a cricket. Kind of has that vibe going on. It's pretty good. But yeah, this is probably my favorite track. But there's some good moments in here for sure. It's an amazing album. Let's see. It's like pretty funky. This is probably the funkiest track on there, but. Kind of got that synthy vibe. It's good. The drummer's pretty dope too. I think you're supposed to invest in the bass track, I think. Anyways, you get it. Pretty good. There's some couple songs are like a little more kind of piano, mellow, but yeah, it's a solid album. Never seen anybody talk about this. They have another album that I think is a little more sought after, but I just kind of found that in a collection. This is another kind of weird one. This is a private press. The label's pretty dope. You can see that. Yeah, these guys rock. They're called. I'll just throw on some. It's called the Collective Star, Music of the Manchik Wave, Volume 2. I don't even know if there was a Volume 1. I'm not sure, but there's like tabla, piano, electric piano, trumpet, sax, mouth harp. And there's some like bells, tambourine, other like Eastern percussion instruments. Yeah, it's really good. It's an interesting album. I actually was their second album is probably a little more sought after, even though it's not really. It's hard to find any information, any music from it on the internet. I couldn't find any. But the cover is like incredible, so it's just like totally eye-catching. Like, wow, this has got to be good. So I sampled this album because it's their first album. So I liked it for sure. It's cool. I just threw like an offer on Discogs. Pretty low offer, and they accepted it. So I ended up pulling the trigger. But this one's interesting. It's like a guy. I feel like he writes the music on the guitar, and probably by himself it wouldn't be that incredible, but I think the music, it's got a lot of musicians on here, and like the music is just, I think it's phenomenal. The supporting musicians on here are just ridiculous. It's very Eastern leaning, and it's like kind of like chanting, and I think it's supposed to be sort of meditative, like Eastern, the mantric waves, and you see the cover. It's just like this. I prefer the parts where there's no singing. Yeah, this is just amazing. It just crushes it. What's up, didgeridoo in there? I think I heard some didgeridoo. piano, everything on here. Like I don't know if you guys playing sitar or something. It's dope. Anyways, you get the drift. It almost sounds like it's the record skipping where it's. Anyways, that is that. Cool one. Probably something I don't play enough. I mean, it's, I can say that with a lot of records, right? I have there's definitely a handful of like go-tos, but yeah, a lot of this stuff I don't play that much. Let's see, what do we got next? So going into like the eastern tip, I guess, this is Onça Combo, Brazilian contemporary jazz. This is their first album. Yeah, I'll put this second song on. Second song is really good. Onça Combo. So this record, I've never seen anybody have. I know one guy in Brazil that has it, but this is off Goma Gringa, like my favorite Brazilian contemporary label. They only pressed 150, but why it's super unique because they actually did a run of 20 hand-drawn covers. So this is a one-of-a-kind hand-drawn. Yeah, they did 20 different ones. So this is my play copy. They only pressed 150, and then this one they did 1 of 20. So I don't know if you can see, there's this 8 of 20. 8 of 20. Anyways, Onça Combo. Yeah, these guys are dope. Like 3-piece band. The guitar player, he plays like very open. So it sounds very full. You know, it sounds like more than just one guitar player. And then you have the percussion. It's just, it's very deep. It's simple but deep. And I think it sounds very like indigenous, the drumming. And then you have a sax player who just kind of goes off, does like free jazz. I don't know. I love it. It's incredible. I think it's so different. Not much I've heard like this. It does have an Eastern tinge, and their second album has even a more Eastern tinge. And they have some guest appearances with like more violin and stuff. I've sent that record to a few VC members. That's also incredible. And that one's still available by the label. It hasn't sold out. It's been available for a year and a half. So yeah, you can still talk about that from the label from Brazil. But yeah, the whole album's like this. A lot of the songs, I guess, one of the downsides about this record is a lot of the songs kind of sound similar. But I love it, so it's hard. But it's hard to distinguish between what track is what, for sure. But yeah, let me just do it. It's kind of hard to tell. They all sound sort of similar. But it is a little bit like free jazz, so if you're not kind of into that, like folk free jazz sort of, I don't know. Anyways, you get the idea. You can sample the whole thing on YouTube. Both their albums, actually. This one's it's possible to find now, but I know one guy who has it, and I know he's sold it. I think he might have a copy for sale. Actually, yeah, there's a copy for sale on Discogs, I believe. It's not the cheapest record. It's not like, I mean, it's expensive for sure. Not as expensive as some stuff, but it is expensive. It is three figures. Onça Combo, but yeah, I love Goma Gringa. I love Onça Combo. Those guys are dope. This is a university record from Brazil. So this is kind of, now I'm going in like the Brazil vein. I try not to show too many Brazil records because it'd be pretty easy. But a lot of people from the VC, at least, I don't think have a lot of as many Brazilian records as I have. So it's probably easier. But so I try to pick stuff that's like pretty unique, even in Brazil. So yeah, this is. Like I said, this is sort of this is like a university record. So this is Coral e Orquestra de Escola, which is School of Technical in Federal de Paraná. Paraná is just a region, or I don't know if it's a state from Brazil, but yeah. So this is cool. It's got a lot of, it's kind of all over the place. I guess they have a lot of freedom as a university band. But yeah, side 2 is really good. Side 1, there's some, it's kind of like, you know, those Moog records where, but yeah, the orchestra's cool. You know, like some of those Moog records are a little bit cheesy, where they have like, some like, on here they have some classical songs, but you know, they're kind of like very synthy and, I don't know. So some of this record is, it's not a, you know, front to back, just complete amazing. It's got some cheesy parts on it, but I would say it has more like really good stuff than it does have cheesy stuff. But it's kind of interesting. It's got the orchestra, and there's a little bit of synth in here too as well sometimes. But it's a cool record, and this was a kind of a ghost record when I bought it. I bought it on eBay. It was an auction, and hadn't been on Discogs, but there was a few tracks on YouTube the tracks I heard I really liked, so I decided to pull the trigger on it. It wasn't cheap, but probably cheaper than what it goes for now. So, but it's good. But it's kind of, yeah. It's cool. It's kind of, I'm gonna say, progressive. I don't know, like classical, where it's like, you know, it's not very linear, which is cool. But yeah, this is a hard one to get now. I mean, it's hard anyway, but now a little more people know about it, I guess. But it's cool. Let me try a different track. This one's a little bit more spacey, I guess. It's a really long track. So kind of harmonica. But it's cool. It's a cool record. It's interesting, for sure. Probably, it's not something I really spend that much. Yeah, the first 2 songs are pretty good. Which I think the first song was written by one of the university students. The second song is actually Wild Safari, which is a cover of Barabbas. I don't know if you say it, cover. And then there's a couple classical songs in the last track, and then the whole second side is written by, I don't know, it must be a professor or something. So yeah, pretty good. Next, I will move on to another Brazilian record. This is Kanto do Tampa by William Senna. I showed this one, I don't know if it was my last video or the video before, I'm not sure, but it is a private press Brazilian record. And not one that people really know. I would say that people really know about. It's such a cool cover too, I love it. Because even the guy that I kind of trade records, or was trading records with, and helps me find records and stuff, he's never heard of it, so, and he knows like a lot of stuff. So it's not something that's like really sought after right now, which is, I don't know, I think it's an amazing record, but it's very technical. Like, he's a very technical guitar player. He did do his second album on the Carmo label, which was definitely kind of more classical leaning. It is not full classical, but it is kind of, I would say, more on that aspect. But yeah, this is cool. It's just like, it's him. He wrote all the songs. Along the back, you can see he wrote with somebody. But this is just William Senna, and then an accompanying female. She does vocals, plays some like light percussion and stuff. But it kind of has that cool like Brazilian like harmonies and stuff, which I love. I think it's a signature sound, at least from the 70s. I love the song. So good. And this whole thing's on YouTube, so you can listen to it. I don't know, something about it for me is just like butter.
A peneira dançam aventais e saias, na cabeça o sol e chapéu de palha. Gente viva sonho nos campos da manhã.
Some of the stuff's a little more mellow. There's some track with some birds on it and stuff. Ethereal on some parts, but the tracks are kind of mixed. Like some are like that, some are just there's no birds. Which some of them have vocals. It's just kind of him playing. It's pretty technical. He's not like in crazy riff the way he plays. Like he's not like super riffy or anything, but he's just kind of like very note heavy the way he plays, I guess. It's good. I love it. Anyways, you get the idea. Yeah, I was stoked to get that one, and it's nice. I mean, I always get excited when I find a record that like no one else is really looking for, and I think it's pretty good. So, yeah, I don't know. I've never, like I said, I've never even seen anybody talk or I don't know show that. Here is one that you've probably seen me show. This is Manduka. This is the Venezuelan pressing with the alternate tracks. So I believe I am one of two people who have this on Discogs. So it's pretty. This is the track, one of the alternate tracks. I think it's Cantando Venezolano. Cantar Venezolano. Dope song. I mean, what is there to say about Manduka? I'm sure everybody knows, or most people are familiar with Manduka. I love that cover too. Look at that. That freaking afro is just banging. But Manduka, he went to Chile. He's Brazilian, but he went to Chile when his family, I think they fled the country when the military dictatorship was kind of first getting started, and then I believe he was like 18, and after a year or two, he kind of got hooked up with Los Jaives, who's like incredible, probably my favorite Chilean band, and Geraldo Vandré, who were kind of running in the same circle. So there's a couple guys from Los Jaives on this album that do, I don't know what they play, I can't remember, guitar, but it kind of, I feel like it gives it that sort of very roots, say like indigenous kind of vibe to it. So I mean, it would have been a good album anyway, but I think that just puts it over the top. Can't tell if it's like super loud. It's loud in my ear. Yeah, just, and then obviously, I think this was pressed in 72, and then I think 73 is when Pinochet came in, so unfortunately, that, I just can't imagine like all the beautiful music that would have made without Pinochet kind of destroying everything. But yeah, Los Jaivis and Manduka did end up doing an album together that was, I think it was recorded in '74 in Argentina. They had fled Chile to Argentina, and it was only pressed in Spain in '79, I believe. Yeah, I definitely want to get that. Was an amazing album as well. But yeah, this is, I mean, when I first got this Manduka record, this is the first copy I bought, and it was before it was repressed. I don't think, still not a lot of people knew about it. Again, another record that I hit up my friend. I said, hey man, you heard about this one? And I even found him a copy for sale. He didn't buy it. I ended up buying it. So, and thankfully, it was a nice, clean, it's still the press I have, the first Chilean press. But yeah, now this album goes for a lot of, not even this one, I don't know, this one's super rare, it's never sold, I'm not sure. But the one I have now sells for a lot as well. Just kind of one of those things. It's hard to find some of the South American records, especially in like good condition, especially like Chile. Brazil, I feel like the records are a little bit easier to find, but I don't know, Chile doesn't really have that pipeline. I think Brazil was exposed with like a lot of DJs going there and sampling and driving up the price. I just don't think that Chile and a lot of those other countries haven't gotten that same kind of exposure, I guess. So there's not a lot of, I don't think there's a lot of people in Brazil that are like, this guy I know, he just like goes and digs up records and sells them internationally. I don't think there's many people doing that in Chile and stuff. So it's harder to find some of those records. Anyways, you get it. You can listen to Manduka. That track is not online though. That's the alternate version, or I'm sorry, an alternate track that is not online. So you heard it here. I charge you an admission, free 99. I only got a couple more, no, a few more, 3 more. Try to make this quick. This is Luis Essa y la Familia Sagrada. This was a recent acquisition, maybe. This year, not that recent. I don't know what track to throw on here. There's a. I don't know. There's a couple covers. Let me do not a cover. So the story behind this one. This is cool. The story behind this one is Luis Essa, who was, I forget what band he was in, Tampa Trio or some Brazilian jazz, pretty famous jazz group. And so he also did production. He produced Joyce's album, her first 2 albums. And so when he went to Mexico, and he was basically, he was like the house band at some hotel in Mexico, and he brought like Joyce, and he brought just a bunch of Nelson Angelo, Nana Vasconcelos, I would say his name wrong. But so he went to Mexico and was like showcasing, like, hey, this is the new music coming out of Brazil. So they were there for, I don't even know, a few months, like just playing in this hotel, maybe touring, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just really cool. I guess it's like jazz, like MPB jazz kind of album. But they only pressed in Mexico, and they only made 200 copies. That they kind of really didn't even really sell. Maybe they sold them at the hotel or gave it out to family and friends. And this is all I have the repress from Lazarus Audio, I think. And he got the permission from, there was one American in the band. I think his name is Bill Vogel. And so he got Lazarus, this guy, he got the rights to press it from Bill Vogel. And if you go to eBay and try and find it, the repress, he'll have this huge story about it. But there was only 200 copies pressed, so I never thought I would find a copy. And I did see it for sale years ago for like $3,000. I was like, no way I'm paying $3,000. But I guess my persistence paid off. It was still expensive, but not anywhere near $3,000. Like 25% of that, maybe even less. But it popped up from a Mexican seller, a store in Mexico. And I reached out to the guy, and he worked with me, and he gave me an even better deal, and he was like super stoked that I was pumped on it. So I just can't believe I actually got it. This record's incredible. And this kind of was pre-Joyce Nelson, like I think Joyce Nelson was a year after they did that album, which is like one of my favorite Brazilian albums of all time. I think Joyce Moreno and Nelson Angela were married at the time here, even, I believe. But this was before she got pregnant. Just an incredible album. Yeah, it's just super rare, 200 copies. Like I said, I've only seen it for sale like 3 times over 6 or 7 years. Yeah, it's just amazing. I'm stoked to have it. Yeah, dope. This is cool harmonies. I mean, there's a lot of people. Oh, look at that, you can see the picture. There's a lot of people in there. And they're all like star, big Brazilian musicians. I think Wilson Seminole sings vocals on this track. There's a couple covers. Georgia Bank cover. There's an Antonio Dolfo cover, I know. But there's like about half covers, half originals. But the covers were like just coming out maybe a year or 2 before, so it's like relevant music. Anyways, so this is only pressed in Mexico. This label. But anyways, I was talking with the seller, and I was like, man, I like jazz. Is there any good Mexican jazz? I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about music from Mexico, and he told me 2 albums, and he ended up putting this one up for sale. So I bought it. It was probably way more than I was looking to spend, but I couldn't pass it up. And this is La Quinto Sol, Música Infinita, and I can't remember the guy on here, but this is this music's pretty crazy. It's like it's avant-garde, but it's kind of like Latin jazz. It reminds me of Luis. Jorge Lopez Ruiz. But you hear that like. But it's avant-garde, but kind of like straight up Latin jazz. I'm trying to think of the guy. It came with a sheet here. The back cover, front cover. But it is Tino Contreras. So he's playing harp. That's that sound. He's playing harp. Yeah, so the insert. Which I always sketch on these inserts. It's just a piece of paper. I mean, this could have just been printed. Who knows? But why this record is rare. I mean, it's rare. It was... but the guy told me, and if you look on Discogs, there's only one person that owned it, and it's me. He was the only person that had it, and I think the other color is green. There's like a green version and a blue version, and he owns a record store, and he said over like however long he's owned the record store and been collecting records, and his dad's been collecting records, he has never ever seen a blue copy. This is the only blue copy he's ever seen, so he didn't know what the deal was. I don't know if it's like some kind of like test pressing or just a different version, cover variant, I don't know. So I am the only person that has this on Discogs. So if you have this, please, please, please let me know. The green one is rare too, but and the Giles Peterson pressed this, so. But yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Jorge Lopez Ruiz, like I said, but with a little bit more kind of avant-garde harp. Yeah, it's really good. Actually, he died recently. Tino Contreras. And he did a live album, I think it was pressed in 2020, but it might have been a few years earlier. It's really good. I need to pick that up as well. But yeah, it's really good. I mean, this is really good. There's another Mexican jazz album I want to pick up. That's much cheaper than this one was, but mean, it's only the only downfall with this record is it's really short. So there's a lot of money for how it's like 20 minutes long, but it's really good. It's just like a little bit avant-garde with the harp, but it's really dope. I thought it would sound like the inside of a piano, but I guess it's a harp. I don't know how he makes that sound. I don't know much about harp. But, that's the B side. The A side's got some. I mean, the whole thing's amazing, but I think it's the. Some like vocals too. It's almost like rock drumming right here. Whatever. The whole thing is on, I think it's on Spotify, so you can check it out if you want. I think, yeah, like I said, Giles Peterson, I believe, just repressed it as well. It's a cool album. I don't know. I had to jump on it. I like the guy. I mean, he's one of a kind, I guess. It's probably not, but it's the only one on Discogs. So, and I was like, wow, that's really good. So I just bought it. Moment of weakness. It was like a FOMO because I mean, I'm never gonna see that again, right? So this is the last one. This is the Balkan Brass. This is more like kind of like I don't say it's a novelty, but I bought this at a garage sale this year for $1, and I can't find anything about it online. But it's kind of cheesy, but there's a couple pretty good tracks on here and a couple pretty good parts. So I'm gonna throw some of these on. So this is probably one of my more favorite tracks. It is, I guess, a little redundant, but he does some cool soloing and stuff in there. It's a little bit psychedelic. But yeah, these guys are from Canada. Yeah, they're just doing like different Balkan jams, and they're all they wrote them all, but you can by each one there's like a Bulgarian, Macedonian, Turkish, Croatian, Greek. Yeah, a lot of Bulgarian stuff. This one is Greek. So, but yeah, this is like kind of like psychedelic almost. It's crazy. And there's no information I can't find on eBay, on PopSite, Discogs. There's nothing to sample online. And yeah, I would love to get an upgrade copy. I just found, like I said, I found for $1 at garage. So I don't know what it was doing in Southern California. These guys from Canada doing Balkan music. But most of it's like pretty cheesy kind of stuff you hear at some like weird wedding or something from that region. I don't know. But yeah, stoked to find it. I guess you call it like a ghost record. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna play one more track for you and let you kind of let it fade out. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. And I'll put the track on. This is the last track of the album too. If anyone's ever heard of this record, please let me know. I'm looking for another copy for sure. I think this song's pretty dope too. And this is the closer of the album, so I'll let it close out here. I'll just kind of let it fade off into the sunset. But hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for tuning in. I apologize it's so long. I guess what happens to do samples. Maybe I should do my next video should be smaller stacks because I like doing the samples and stuff. If this video even gets shown, because I might get copyright, because Balkan Brass might kick me off. Anyways.